Hello and welcome to the Film School Chronicle, your wire right to the heart of the student film scene of Brisbane, Australia. I'm your host, Bryce Quinn, and joining me today is Remy Webber, founder of Golden Media. How you doing, Remy?
I'm good.
All right. Today we're just going to have a chat about you, Golden Media, and the business that you've started. It was business, not company, right?
Yeah.
We're just talking about it. But before that, I thought we'd just introduce you. So could you tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm second year, like with yourself and Carmelo and everyone. Like an aspiring DP. I wanna DP and direct like a lot of. I want to eventually work into films and music videos, but that's kind of where I'm at. Cinematography is like my thing.
Yeah. And like what kind of things are you into? You know, like favorite kind of media, the kind of things you'd like to make one day.
Oh yeah, okay. So well, I don't know, it's tricky. Like I'm really open to like a lot of stuff. Although music videos are really cool, I don't want to limit myself in terms of like the genre of music videos. I just want to work on stuff with like really passionate people. Or if I'm like the DP, I want to work with a director who has a really strong vision, but at the same time, I do like using a lot of color. I think colors and doing a lot of kind of wacky stuff with the camera would make things a lot more fun. So that's, I guess, kind of my style towards where I'm leaning. Right. So yeah,
cool. And so jumping into Golden Media, how does that play in at all? Or?
It will eventually, hopefully.
Yeah.
Eventually, where I want to take is I want to do music videos, start producing music videos with Golden, and we'll have, like our team of, directors and DP and production designers and things like that. They'll help create the music.
Yeah.
But right now, Golden is, it's a business, because the biggest difference between like a business and a company is just how you hold your money.
Yeah.
And how you've like registered it. And so, right now it's just business, and then eventually, hopefully, I want to grow it to like being being like a dominant kind of media company in Queensland.
Yeah.
But right now we're working with brands and businesses, and then also doing weddings. Those are probably our two biggest departments. And so, later throughout the year, I want to create like a more solid line between the wedding side of it and the business brands kind of media side of it. And then that's something like I'll work on towards. But right now it's just kind of Golden Media is just weddings and brands, and hopefully eventually music videos too.
So weddings, brands, music videos, very commercial kind of stuff.
Yeah, I want to keep it more like commercial, because it's like, the way that I see it is like a media business, so it'll be for like that kind of commercialized content that people want. So like I don't want
in high demand with a lot of people.
I don't want to do like kind of boring commercials for brands. I want to do stuff that's like interesting for their style and help grow them.
Okay.
And then for weddings, they're just something that I think are really fun, and they're really cool to shoot.
So talking about like not doing boring commercials and stuff. So you want to definitely have like a bit of a pick and choose with your clients.
Yeah. So like you see, like I think the vast majority of commercials nowadays for like big huge companies are just really stock standard, super boring commercials where they don't hire like a creative director. They don't really care about it as long as like it shows their product. And it doesn't matter because you're going to shop there regardless. But it's good to see that quite a few companies are starting to put a lot more effort into their advertising, which is good because it gives more directors and DPs like fun roles in that kind of commercial space,
and a chance to show off their skills. And that
exactly.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. You don't want to just sit there like someone super basic.
Yeah.
And then push record while they say talk about the product or whatnot. You want to be able to like utilize camera movement, use fun lighting, and tell like a story with the ad, and while you're showing off the product as well. Because I think that creates like a much bigger impression on like kind of the audience or your consumer than just giving them your stock standard kind of commercial approach.
You mentioned that you've got, was it 2 weddings coming up?
Well, we've got 2 in the next month. We've got 6 booked for this year, and then 1 next year, but I'm currently like back and forth with emails on 4 other people.
Right. So how many would you like to have in 1 year?
Like when I started the year, I said that 5 would be good.
Yeah.
And we've done that. So
you've done 5 already.
Oh no, we've got 5 booked.
Oh, you've 5 booked.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was to book 5 and do 5 within 2021, and book 3 for next year.
Okay.
And we've just like about to finish March, and we've already like hit that. So I want to do between 7 and 10 now, book them for this year, and then book 3 for next year still, because that's something that I'm still trying to work on. But right now it's just about like growing our portfolio, getting the experience, building up like our gear and our clientele, and then eventually, like obviously, I'd want Golden to be a place where people go to try and get their weddings booked instead of like me trying to pitch Golden to everyone right now. But that's kind of where we're at in the business. Like, we're just starting.
Where I am with the podcast.
Yeah.
So I get that. So could you give me a rundown of like how a wedding video would go? Like, how do you approach the planning, and how does the actual production feel and go and that kind of thing?
Yeah. So for the wedding that we're doing next week, which is on Wednesday, so a few days away.
Oh wow.
Pretty much, like, I was talking with the, like, I spoke with the clients very early on, when they were planning it all, and then, they pretty much tell me, like, I get all my clients to tell me what they want from the wedding, and then I can tell them, like, how I can give it to them. I don't ever want to be like, clients, oh, this is what we do, this is what we, like, what will happen on the day, and this is, you know, how your wedding film's going to look like. I want them to be able to tell me, like, what they expect, or what their like vision for their kind of wedding is, the kind of style that they want, because there's so many different approaches you can take with their photos. If they want all candid, then like we can just do all candid photography. If they want like a warmer feel, something like that,
or like some kind of effect or filter.
Yeah, exactly. So like different kind of styles, and that, like, I want to be able to cater to what each couple wants. And so for this one, they pretty much they didn't necessarily have a certain style, but they liked the previous stuff I had shot. So that, like, when on the day, I'll probably shoot for like a mix between candid and staged photos, and in editing I'll probably make it like a lot warmer, because I find that when you're at a wedding, you want your photos to be, or when you're looking at wedding photos, you want them to be nice and warm and friendly. But when it comes to the film aspect, there's heaps of planning. So a few weeks ago I went to their venue and I sussed it all out. I mapped out pretty much the whole space that we can use, and where they're going to be going for the ceremony and then the reception, because it's all in one location, which is nice. And then I pretty much like I coordinate like my team, like I find you know, whoever's keen to do it, and once I like have my team locked in, we have gear all organized. I pretty much go into planning the video. So I do like a shot list. I do kind of a rough script. Obviously, you can't really script a wedding. That's not yours. So I do like a rough script of just the day, because I get the clients to give me like a run sheet for everything. So I know at what point throughout the day different events are going to happen.
Have you had any trouble getting run sheets off clients?
Not really. Well, most of them are still in the future. Like, still like a couple months down the track. So there's 2 that are like coming up where they haven't given me a run sheet, but those weddings are much more simple than this one coming up. So I'm not necessarily too fussed. And if they don't give me a run sheet, then we just have to wing it anyway.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I interrupted you. Continue.
Oh no, it's so good. And so they give me a run sheet, so I at least know, you know, when they're cutting the cake, for example, because you don't want to miss that.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And so then I write a shot list for like my team to because I'm usually the dedicated photographer on the day, and then I'll have someone as the cinematographer, and then I have someone to cover both, or at least that's with our gold package, with our top package, which is what these guys have picked. You get 3 of us.
Different packages and stuff.
Oh yeah, okay. There's heaps. We'll get into that in just a second.
No worries.
So typically though, there's always going to be 2. So there'll be someone that's more video focused and someone that's more photo focused.
Okay.
If they just want photos, then obviously it's photo. But for the videos, I plan out each shot, and then I kind of map out how the edit's going to go as well, so that when it goes into post-production, it's a really quick turnaround, because usually for weddings, you try and deliver their whole kind of package to them within 6 weeks.
Right.
Which is, so you're cycling through like thousands of photos to give them like around 600 high-quality ones that are edited.
Yeah.
And then give them, you know, their short film. If they have like more features in their package, which these guys do, then you got to organize all of that.
It's quite an intense editing block, I imagine.
Yeah, there is. So, and then obviously you want them to love it. So I usually, like I'll send them little snippets to see if they like it, or if they want to, you know, change something, or if they want it in a slightly different style. But I've never had any issues with my photos. Bit of humble brag, but
it bodes well. No one's ever complained.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll wait for the first person to complain, and then we'll have to figure out what to do then. But that's pretty much the approach. There is a lot to do when you're like approaching a wedding film, because I don't want it to feel just like I'm recording the whole day and then I just pick my favorite highlights and put it together.
Right.
I tell like every client, like I want to be able to try and tell your story, and I want, when you watch the video, I want you to feel the same kind of emotions that you felt on the day. So
it's a lofty ambition. That's very cool actually.
Yeah, it is. So that's why like we incorporate like a lot of like letters, and we like their vows as well, and we try and show like their progress and try and show the connection between the two people when they're both just alone and we're with them, or when they're at the ceremony, when they're at the reception, things like that. We want you to kind of feel the same excitement and same like love throughout the whole video that you did on the wedding.
How do you feel as like the DOP in that situation? Are you trying to like stay, sort of not too close and feel like kind of a ghost?
That's I asked like couples that as well. And for the most part, obviously, you don't want to be like the big presence.
Yeah.
Because it's not about you.
Exactly.
You just got to kind of do what you can with your space to get the best content.
Because you want the good shots, but you don't want to get too up in their face.
Yeah, I've never heard... so everyone that I've booked so far, they haven't said like, oh, we don't want to see you at all. Because that's going to be near impossible if you want like nice, like close photos. So we're like moving around the venue constantly, and but as like the DP, I guess, or the director for the day, because I'm usually not the only person doing video, the only person doing photo, I will have that shot list, and then when it comes to kind of filling in those shots or going for the space, and obviously I'm just picking people that I trust and that I know that they know what they're doing. So
yeah, just quickly on that, who is your crew?
So for this wedding, we've got Mitchell Watson, and so Mitchell's like a really big part of Golden, and he's helping grow it as well, with Amy Vargas Bell and I, who are the business partners, and then us three are pretty much, we're working on Golden and building it to like to where we want it to be over the next few years. And then for this particular wedding, we've got Alessandro Carrion.
Yeah, actually, I've never asked him how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I've never ever pronounced his name.
I've been meaning to get him on the show so we can ask him then.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, and he's the sole like kind of cinematographer, videographer for this wedding. And then Mitchell is the coverage, so he'll be helping me on photo for certain angles, and he'll be helping on video as well to fill that shot list. And so basically I have like a map and like certain locations or positions where I want the two of them at all times throughout the wedding, and then I give them like the certain amount of freedom to kind of move around that space, but those positions are designed so that when something happens we get it, because I'm the one with the run sheet, and I've like told them that at certain times maybe they'll go for a first dance, or they cut the cake here, or they walk down the aisle here. And so before all of that happens, we want to be in the right position, because we don't ever want to be like, oh, wait, before you walk down the aisle, let me just run over there so I can get good photos for you. Oh, wait, don't do your first dance yet. I need to set this up.
Yeah, exactly. So you react rather than planning their stuff.
Exactly. So that's part of that kind of, you want to be somewhat invisible. So you're moving around and you get all of those great photos before you're like running and it's too late, pretty much.
So I had a question real quick. The crew is in the wedding, walking around doing their thing. They've got cameras and stuff. So you're standing there with like a clipboard with the shot list, and that's your gear.
Like, no, I'm taking photos as well.
Okay, so you have your photos.
But in like the lead up to it, over the last like few weeks and in the next 4 days, I pretty much like will be telling Mitchell and Sandro the different kind of shots that I want to get, and how the day is going to look, and they already have like a map with all their positions on it and everything like that.
Right.
But on the day, like, there's no like clipboard, because we don't have any time to rest, pretty much, because this particular wedding will start at 3, so we'll be there from about 2, setting everything up, make sure everything's checked, and then shooting until 9:30. So
whoa, yeah,
it's like long 6.5 hours of consistent shooting, and some days are a lot shorter. Like, there's a wedding in June where they pretty much just need us for the ceremony, and so it's just going to be like Mitchell and I as just photo for 3.5 hours.
Right.
And then there's like the biggest one would be next year in April, and they've planned out like over a year in advance their photo and video, and we're pretty much getting there at 9 a.m. in the morning to get some like pre-wedding shots, and then their ceremony starts at 2, and we'll be kind of like following them in the lead up to their ceremony, and then we're shooting until like 9 o'clock at night. So it's like a 12-day shoot pretty much.
Oh, man.
So like, because weddings are like the whole day experience.
Yeah. And if you want to do it properly, you got to be there the whole time.
Exactly. Yeah. So you don't really have any time to rest. And so when it comes to like meal breaks, if because I don't make...
You eat if you get lucky.
Yeah, you eat if you're lucky. No. I have it in our contract that states like we'll need to eat at some point. So, but we'll have measures in place so that you'll never like be missing out on your photos. So say for example, if it's just me and Mitchell, or if it's me, Mitchell, and Sandra, like this one is, one of us may get food and then the other would become like the sole video, one would be sole photo. Or like two would get food if it's really quiet. So say everyone's eating their dinner, you don't really need us walking around taking photos of everyone munching on food.
Yeah, exactly.
So one of us would be there to just get photos of or make sure we're there if something happens. And then two would eat, we'd come back, kind of swap over, something like that.
Just to touch on something we were talking about earlier, those packages you mentioned. So different levels of what the client can pay for.
Yeah, so we've got, like the way that I've been playing around with like our packaging and our pricing for a while. And I think like I have a really, like a strong kind of position. So whenever somebody contacts us, I don't list our pricing on the website because I don't want to sell us that easily.
Right.
I want, because if somebody
you want the like service to speak for itself. So
yeah.
I'm assuming your website looks schmick.
Oh, I think our website looks decent. I spent a long time on it.
Excellent.
So it's just like it's been a lot of trial and error, playing around with what works, like developing like our color palette and our theme. And so we now have like our style for at least the Golden Media branding. We have our color palette. We have the layout of our website.
Just quickly, did you use Squarespace to make it?
I did, yeah.
Well, this podcast is not sponsored, so we'll move right on. I was just curious.
Maybe later on.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we did use Squarespace just because I felt it was like
super easy, super accessible. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I had the domain since October.
Right.
When we launched Golden, I guess, or when we registered it. And so on the website, I find that a lot of people do list their price on the website, and good for them. Right. But my view, for us at least, is if somebody's interested in us and then they go to our website and they're like, oh, this pricing is too expensive, I don't want to pay this. Or they go like, oh, I was looking for a bit more, I could spend a bit more, I'll go for somewhere where I'm getting better quality, because a lot of people do associate a higher price cost with better quality, which is fair.
Yeah.
Because usually that's true. But so I don't want to just cancel us off that easily. If they like our photos, if they like our website, I get them to contact me. Right. And then that's when I discuss pricing with them.
It's an interesting tactic too, because they've looked at your service and they go, oh wow, that actually looks really nice. How do I find out how much it's going to cost? The only way is to email you. Yeah. And then that's already established the communication then. Yeah. So they emailed you and then you get back with a really nice email, super inviting and welcoming and nice, and you list out and you answer their questions. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, now I have to answer this back. And they're kind of almost trapped there in a way. It's like you got the hook in.
And I always have their email.
That too, yeah.
So 5 years down the line, I'm like, hey, so we didn't shoot your wedding, but do you need anniversary photos? Or, but I like being able to at least pitch us. Yes. And sell us to them. So I take when I do get a contact from an email, I take a really long time out to just send them a really detailed response with all the packages, and I pick the package that would suit them. Right. I send them our pricing guide, which is, it's like a 6-page just PDF document, and I just send that to them through the email. That kind of tells us who we are and why we think you should go Golden. And we have a lot of cheesy lines and say that.
I just heard one right now. I was almost going to say something that's really good.
On our website, my tagline for the business is, we're the gold standard in weddings and media production.
Fantastic.
And so, having a golden wedding is or picking us for your wedding is like finding gold,
Oh my goodness!
Like there's a lot of puns.
Please
and a lot
tell
of
me these are all from you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
And so they're kind of all sprinkled out throughout emails and stuff like that. But I send them our pricing guide, and after the first few pages where we say oh, this is who we are, this is our team, we love doing what we do, this is why you should, go with us. We have all of our pricing, so we have packages for photo and video, where you usually save quite a lot, and then we have packages for just photo and just video. And if you want the pricing, you can email remy@goldenmedia.com.
Shameless plug at the end. Yeah. Fantastic. Perfect.
So that's like the only way that I give out our pricing, because I don't want to also list our pricing on the website in case somebody looks at it and goes, oh, these guys are like this price. Oh, we could go with them. And then 2 weeks later, I find that I'm thinking, oh, I could up our pricing. And I do, and then they come back and they're like, oh, he's more expensive. Right. So if I email you and I'm saying, oh, this would be your price for this wedding, because that's our pricing at the time, then obviously you're going to get that pricing because that's what I've told you, regardless of if we up it, before we shoot or even before we book the next one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, sweet. Well, I think that's all we're going to have time for today. This has been the Film School Chronicle. Thank you very much, Remy, for coming on and talking about Golden Media. It's been very insightful seeing how the sausage gets made, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thank you. And until next time, thanks for listening.